The Killer Bees are back. The Hornets dominate third quarters now, and Coby White makes his debut. We talk about it all today. Locked On Hornets.
You are Locked On Hornets, your daily Charlotte Hornets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
In a minute, cuz we live.
It's Locked On Hornets, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day. Thanks for making us your first listen. We're free and available anywhere you get your podcast, and that includes YouTube. Subscribe, like, rate us, do all that stuff that your favorite YouTuber tells you to do, and you'll help us get to 11,000 subscribers. We're at 10,600. Thank you very much. We appreciate that, and because you've done that, and hopefully you're still subscribing to us on your Audible platforms, you've made Locked On the #1 sports podcast network out there. So pat yourself on the back, celebrate with a drink, really just celebrate however you want to. This is all because of you, and we very much appreciate it. I'm flying solo today, me being Walker Mail on WFNZ, Wes and Walker every weekday from 12 to 3, Sports Radio 92.7 FM. Check me out there. Also check out Doug Branson. No Doug today on this recap, but he'll be with us in the next episode. Doug, his Substack, everyhornetsboxscore.com. Also go check out Doug, Yahoo Sports Daily. He's behind the scenes helping produce that show, hosted by Jason Fitz and Caroline Fenton. And they're Hornets fans too. They were on the bandwagon early. It's not just Chuck, not just Charles Barkley. Maybe we get Jason Fitz and Caroline Fenton some Hornets gear somehow, some way. I guess just not the City Edition unis because Jason doesn't like those. But how could you not be a Hornets fan? Because they're back. The Killer Bees are back. They got their starting lineup back in full force. Grant Williams now slides back to the role that you would like him to play, and you get Coby White making his debut. The Hornets, they win, and they win big over the Bulls, 131-99. A dominant third quarter, the second straight dominant third quarter that the Hornets have given us. One against Washington, where LaMelo goes bonkers. Everybody's hitting threes, and same thing here, except it wasn't necessarily LaMelo going nuts in the third. It was just the Hornets hitting a bunch of threes. Khan went nuts in the third. We'll get to his stretch in just a moment, but it was such a big win against the Bulls. In fact, it's the largest win over Chicago in Hornets history. 32-point victory. That's the largest win ever over Chicago. And the Bulls have now lost 10 straight games. They've lost 7 straight at home, and they're the only winless team in the NBA in February. So you needed to take care of this one, and I'm glad they did so in convincing fashion. Per Stathead, by the way, saw a bunch of pearls, some gems from Sam Purley. We appreciate him putting out some of this information out there on Twitter, so go follow him. Should be easy to find. But here's what he retweeted. Per Stathead, the Hornets are also now the first team in NBA history to record 25-plus three-point makes in consecutive games. So they hit 25 against Washington. They hit 25 in this game against Chicago. Just for reference, they hit 26 last year. That was a franchise record. The overall record is 29. I know these figures, at least I think I know these figures, because Eric Collins, he just told us this on what was it? I guess Monday when they beat Washington, or was it Sunday when the Hornets beat Washington? He told us. So these figures are already fresh in our mind, and it looked like they might be able to do it again against Chicago, or at least threaten to break the record. Per Stathead, also, the Hornets are now the third team in NBA history to record 70-plus three-point makes over a 3-game span, joining Utah hitting 72 in December of 2021, and Boston hitting 71 in March of 2024. So needless to say, great recipe to get a victory over Chicago the way that they did it. Only missed 2 shots at the rim, according to Cleaning the Glass as well, 16 of 18. So when the game mattered, the Hornets, they hit shots at the cup. It's not like that is a big strong suit, considering the way the guards play, hit a lot of shots from deep. They don't get to the cup nearly as much. We've talked about that a million different times, but they only missed a couple of them in this one against Chicago. So great win for them, just in the way that they had the large margin of victory. Didn't start out well. In fact, Miller, after hitting the first shot of the game, hit a floater, nice drive, actually had an opportunity at another floater, the second offensive possession of the game, and then he passed out of it. And that seemed to be the theme of the beginning part of the game, where it felt like everybody was a little too selfless. I'd rather them be a little more selfish. LaMelo, go ahead and take that three that you passed up. Brandon, that's your world, man. You've been doing a pretty nice job in the mid-range. Maybe it was more so on the front half of that 9-game winning streak where the consistency has come and gone a little bit for Brandon in the second half of that 9-game winning streak and then what we've seen here recently. But go ahead, shoot that shot, baby. The consistency has been back at least the last couple of games. A lot of turnovers in the first half for Brandon. Got to clean that up. 6 for the game. But good news is, I think it was 6 in the first half that he had in this game against Washington. So I'm glad that you cleaned it up, and I'm glad that Brandon is hitting shots. Yeah, just felt like the offense was a little out of sorts. They weren't in the rhythm you're used to seeing that lineup in. But again, these guys haven't played. Miles Bridges and Moussa Diabate having been out for their 4-game suspension after that brawl against Detroit. This group had not played together since February 9th. It's a long time. I mean, you think about it. They get in the brawl with Detroit. They have the 4-game suspension. You have the All-Star break right afterwards. So you don't get to play with one another until even later because of that break. Then you have those 3 games that they miss after the All-Star break. Only one beforehand. That was the Atlanta game. They still found a way to win. They go 2-2 in that stretch. So it took a little while, I guess, to regain some of that chemistry. And then they did so and passed with flying colors in the third quarter, as we've talked about. So got some weird sequences. Just looking at Moussa and Miles, I thought Moussa was spectacular. He was sensational, doing Moose-like things again. Get your antlers up. Shout out to the guy at the United Center for bringing the antlers, celebrating the wildest possession of the night, defensive possession of the night for sure, where Moussa blocks 2 guys at the rim. On the second block, the basketball goes out of bounds. So on a baseline out of bounds play, quote unquote, just on inbounding from the baseline, they throw it to the corner, and it's just Moussa, and I forget who the guard was, mano a mano, but Moussa just walls him up, moves his feet. They don't get a shot off, and it's a shot clock violation. So on that one defensive possession, Moussa has 2 blocks, and they're great, fun blocks where he rotates over and then gets as high as he possibly can right before the ball is about to descend towards the basket and hits it at the apex. Real close to goaltending, but clearly not. Blocks it, bang, bang, and then walls you off for a shot clock violation all in one possession. Crazy. He's back, baby. The Moose is loose once again. 6 stocks for Moussa. 3 blocks, 3 steals, 6 stocks. He was phenomenal. And you also see him go 4 of 4 from the field, only 9 points. But, man, this is not how he impacts winning like he can defensively. 5 assists. I thought Moussa was just great grabbing these offensive rebounds and not really looking up to go up himself. Speaking, I don't think this was too selfless from him, but I love when he grabs rebounds. He has so many shooters, he sprays it out to all sorts of different parts of the court. He hit LaMelo a couple of times on that. Moussa's so good for LaMelo. LaMelo's so good for Moussa. Moussa's good for everybody. It's great to have him back. And Miles Bridges. Miles had good game from the field. Weird sequences from him. There was the time where he tried to save the ball out of bounds where I'm not sure that would have been out on Charlotte. And when he did save it, he saved it in the wrong area. He saves it right at Chicago's basket. And then the Bulls end up, I believe, making a shot on that possession. And then the very next play, Miles, I think there was another turnover, just weird sequences. But other than that, 6 of 11 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3. Knocked down his 3-point shots, 7 rebounds. No, he's always been good at that. So great to have what they were saying were the M&N brothers. Eminem? I didn't realize. Okay. All right. I'll work with it, Dell. Eric, M&M brothers. They are back, and they provided a big impact, especially in that third quarter. Plenty more to get to in this game. Let's move on. Coming up next on the Locked On Hornets podcast. Coby White makes his debut. How did he play? Plus, Khan had an impressive stretch. We got to get to some of those observations. Still plenty more to come in the win over Chicago. Next, Locked On Hornets. Before we get to more observations, I want to tell you that this episode is brought to you by Indeed. Yes, Indeed. Workplace chaos, deadline stacking up, inbox overflowing. and the position you have to fill is still sitting open. When the pressure's on, you need the right hire. This is a job for sponsored jobs. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for: skills, experience, location, so you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your post. And here's a stat that says it all. In the minute I've been talking to you, companies like yours made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now. And then you can support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire. This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. More Locked On Hornets ahead. Real quickly, I want to tell you about the Everydayers Club. All you have to do is go to lockedonhornets.supercast.com to sign up. It's super easy. There you see the $5 a month option that you can choose. So it's not a lot of money. And when you do subscribe to us, you get access to an ad-free audio feed for Locked On Hornets, compatible with every major podcast app. You get an invite to the members-only Locked On Hornets group chat, which is always fun. You get exclusive access to national bonus shows, including the daily Locked On Sports Today audio podcast. Again, go to lockedonhornets.supercast.com. And if you would like to sign up for the year, you could save 17% off. Again, lockedonhornets.supercast.com. More observations from this one. We're scrolling some more. Yeah, just wanted to go over Khan's crazy eruption, a brief but crazy eruption in the third quarter. So he goes for 10 points in 2 minutes. He also goes for 8 points in 43 seconds. I think he goes 4 of 4 in that stretch over the 2 minutes where he hits a three. No, excuse me. He hits the layup, he hits the floater, and then he hits a couple of threes. And after he hits the second three, I was waiting for it. After that three, I was waiting for the call, and Eric Collins delivered in a way that he always does, where it might be one of my favorite calls on the season. I'm giving myself a little cushion here. I don't know if it's number one on the Eric Collins play sheet this year, but it's damn close. When he said, "This kid's phenomenal," I was like, yeah, all right, he's losing it just like we are. It's what makes Eric so great. It's that our emotions are coming out through the TV screen because he is giving them life in a way only one broadcaster can. I mean, very few, right? Anyways, we got to, very, very, very few, if not the only way that, and if Eric Collins isn't the only one, but we were losing it with Khan. And I tweeted this out. Dylan Jackson actually had just a play sequence from this saying that he scored 8 points in 43 seconds. I do want to shout out Dylan Jackson, by the way, one of the good guys, man. Always appreciate his support here on Locked On Hornets. Been supporting me for a while. You should support him. He's actually the founder of Sport CLT. It's a rebrand from the 2-point conversion. And Dylan works his you-know-what off, man. Like, he's always been so great. So go check him out at DJ.mp4 on Twitter. He's excited to announce Sport CLT, his new website dedicated to covering Charlotte area sports. So he tweeted out this clip of Khan making a three, and then I quote tweeted it and said, "I want 50, 40, 90 so bad. I want it bad. I'm obsessed with it. I want history to happen. I want us to have this. I want Khan to have this. I'll be selfless too. I want the Knipples to have this in their bag because 50, 40, 90 from a rookie is ridiculous, but I also selfishly want it. We've gone through pain. I want my rookie to get it. I want him to get Rookie of the Year, and I want him to be a part of the 50, 40, 90 club. So if he does what he did the last 23 games, the remaining 23 games, okay, he's only shooting 49.1%. If you just copy and paste what he's done the last 23 games, you copy it and then you paste it to the next 23, he's only going to get to 49.1% from the field. That's not enough. What he needs to do because I'm the obsessive guy that's going over all of the scenarios. I'm Zach Galifianakis, boop, 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 beep, boop, all the numbers running through my brain. What does he have to do? He needs to go 162 of the next 300 field goal attempts that he goes with. All right. So if he hits 162 out of the next 300 field goal attempts, that'll get him to 50 from the field. Why do I choose 300? Because it's almost smack dab exact 300 in what he shot over the last 23 games. All right. So we can just copy the field goal attempts, at least from the last 23, paste them for the next 23. And then if he goes 162 of his next 300, that gets him 50% from the field. Not that anybody's counting. I'm not obsessed. You have the problem. He also has 200 threes this year. So the fastest NBA player ever to reach 200 made threes. He got there in just 58 games, 5 away from the rookie record. Keegan Murray at 206. We're going to knock on wood just because we don't want anything bad to happen, but should be happening maybe next game, in the next 2. He averages 3.5 makes per contest. So we'll see if he's able to break it here soon. By the way, Donovan Mitchell, he hit 2 last night. So it's a 201, 191 Con lead for 3-point makes. He's got a 10 pace lead. So hopefully he holds on to it. And Con, by the way, is on pace for 285 makes from deep this season. I thought a funny Con story from Dell in this game. Remember, Con missed a couple of free throws that brought him below 90, which he's got some work to do to get back to that. But Dell mentioned after Con missed 2 free throws against Washington, Dell mentioned on the broadcast that Con went to Dell and said, "Hey, can I talk to you for a second? There wasn't a nail at Capital One Arena." At least I think it's still Capital One Arena. And so with him not having a nail to line up his foot, and I don't know how many other free throw shooters did this. I did this when I played, but I'd line it up. Right foot, nail, bingo, bango, bongo, make a bunch of free throws. Not as many as Con, but Con didn't hit any, didn't hit the 2 that he missed, and we're not used to seeing him go 3 of 5. And so that was funny that he said he didn't have the nail, needs the nail, had one in Chicago, and he was perfect from the free throw line. All right, we also got to get to Coby White stuff. This is the important stuff here too. Coming up next on the Locked On Hornets podcast. Coby White makes his debut after having a left calf strain. How did he play? Plus, it's a nice reminder that we have nice things now, the way that Chicago embraced Coby White, and got me thinking about some past players that the Hornets have traded before and gone elsewhere and thrived and or contributed in a way they didn't here in the Queen City. I'll tell you what I mean by that coming up next, LOH. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Ever wanted to experience the NBA Finals live and in person? Well, now you can, and all you have to do is go to FanDuel.com to get started, and you can join in on the fun when it comes to the NBA playoffs. Here's how it works. Use your profit boost on any NBA future, and you'll automatically be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for 2. That's right, flights, tickets, the whole experience. If you're already looking at the board and thinking about which team can make a deep run, this is the perfect time to lock it in. I love futures this time of year, whether it's picking a team to win the championship or grab a conference title. It adds that extra layer of excitement to every game down the stretch. And now, not only can you pick your cash, but it could also send you to the finals. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Use your profit boost on an NBA future and get entered for your chance to win a trip to the NBA Finals. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. More Locked On Hornets ahead. Coby White makes his debut. Great to see him out there. He was nursing a left calf strain for a while. Only played 30 games this year. There was some real worry about how much more time Coby might miss. Because remember, leading up to the NBA trade deadline, on NBA trade deadline day is, I think, when they made this move. They go after Coby, having not played very many games this season. They get rid of a guy that helps you off of the bench in Colin Sexton, but the fit wasn't quite right. We've already gone through that quite a bit. But they trade Colin Sexton for Coby White, and they trade 3 second-round picks alongside Colin Sexton to go get Coby. Okay, well, we didn't see the trade was announced. We didn't see it was announced. We're a little gun shy with the Mark Williams experience last year where, hey, why haven't we heard the gun? Why haven't we heard the trigger pulled here? Can we please see the email? Finally got the email over the next couple of days or so. It really wasn't that long of a wait. But then what was also announced is that after the Coby White physical, Chicago had to give one of the second round picks back, which is great. I guess it just goes right back in the second round hopper that Jeff Peterson has over there at Spectrum Center, except it does get you wondering, ooh, if they're giving back a second rounder, I guess it means he's quite literally not as valuable as you once thought. Which, if that's the case, then why isn't he as valuable as we once thought? How long is this injury going to keep him from playing? So at first, we were told that he's going to come right back after All-Star break. No problem. We can get through the next couple of games with him on the roster, but not playing, and then he'll be back. All good, all gravy. Except that really wasn't even the case. After All-Star break, Charles Lee started to answer some questions, and what you could take away from it was that, oh, he's not playing. He's out. Okay. Indefinite timeline, too. We're not getting any clarity on when he's going to suit up. Good news is, after, I think, on the panic meter for Coby, I don't know where people got out there. I was probably at a 5. Because, you know, I really want a non-Melo primary ball handler, right? When LaMelo goes to the bench, you know how rough it's been to watch. Sion James is overtaxed as the second-round rookie that is supposed to be playing a different role entirely. I wanted somebody to organize the offense and make some things happen. And without Coby, it's going to be a real issue. So I was probably at a 5, but I'm glad we didn't get anywhere more than that because Coby plays against Chicago after missing the 3 games prior, post All-Star break, that is. And I thought he played well. I think if you wanted to continue to compare Coby, the way that he looked in this offense with Colin Sexton in this offense, I think it's clear that Coby is just a more discerning basketball player. There are times where he'll put guys in jail with the intent to kick out to a corner, kick out to the wing. He makes things happen for others more frequently. And I know that there were some Colin Sexton truthers out there. I love what he brought to DNA. I love what he brought from a competitive spirit standpoint. All of that stuff matters. He has a part in the Hornets getting to where they are right now because of everything that he did in practice. And so monster tip of the cap to everything he contributed. But I could see why the Hornets would go after Coby and value him more than what they did Colin Sexton. The volume of threes is more with Coby. There are a lot of Spider-Man meme stuff when you look at some of the numbers. I would think it's fair to say they can be similar players. They both can attack downhill. They both are very fast. They both are very strong. Coby just has more size. There's more width to Coby, and I think you can see that. Neither one of them are soft. Both of them are real strong and play physically. But I think with Coby, you just see him probe a lot better at the elbow to make plays for others. I mean, there were 4 assists from Coby in this game too, on top of the shooting from distance. He was 2 of 4 from the 3-point line. He gave you a similar bucket that we were used to seeing Colin give us, where he just shoots out of a cannon and goes straight to the basket. The difference here is I don't think anybody could ever convince Colin and his unbelievably logical brain, guys, straight line. The basket's right there. What do you want me to do all this dribbling and hanging out stuff for? All I need to do is dribble straight to the basket, and then I'll get fouled, or I might make it at the cup. What? No, I don't need to do other stuff. And he would hit threes. He hit threes. The volume was never there. He turned it over quite a bit, and so that was a real issue. Coby historically has not been somebody that has turned it over as much as Colin. But I think you saw all of that last night. Like, even in just the 16 minutes that he played, we'll see if he's on a minutes restriction following this calf strain injury. But I thought you saw the benefits of having Coby White on this roster. Everything's on the table with Coby when the basketball's in his hands, and I mean that in the best way possible. So really like what he was able to do. Just think Coby is aware of his surroundings. All right, final thing we got to do. Got to check in on the standings. Hornets win last night. They're now 4 games back of Orlando. Man, it was tough. I was checking out that score with the Magic playing the Lakers, and the Magic, they just win by 1 freaking point. I was pulling for LA. Wendell Carter, he scores a late winner in this game, or the Hornets would only be back even 3, but now they're back 4 games. Let me go back to the standings just real quickly. all of them win except for Miami. All the teams that you're competing with. Atlanta, they won. They won big over the Wiz last night. Philadelphia, they beat the Pacers by 20. So it was really only Miami that lost. They lose 128 to 117 over Milwaukee. So you have the Hornets just a half game back of Atlanta still, but they do have the tiebreaker. They're 3 games back of Miami in the 8th seed. They're 4 games back of Orlando in the 7th seed. They're 4.5 games back of Philly in the 6th seed. So not a great night overall for the Hornets from a outside help standpoint. Miami, the only team trying to get Hornets to climb to the standings just a little bit more, but we'll see what the Hornets can do here going forward. Some easier schedules for some of these teams coming up. Good news is the Hornets also have an easy schedule. So as long as you do the unforced error thing, the non-unforced error thing where you just keep getting the ball over the net. You don't try to get crazy. You don't try to hit a haymaker and send it in the corner where you toe the line. All you do is just keep hitting the tennis ball over the net, over the net, over the net. You should be able to win some of these games that you are going to be favored in, and maybe somebody else tries to hit the game winner and then they hit it out of bounds. I think that is the approach that I would like to see from this squad over the next few games in what is an easier schedule. But the Hornets, they're still coming, man. And I just love that we're going to be checking in on the standings every single day. I've not refreshed the standings like this every single day in quite some time. That'll do it for Locked On Hornets. Thanks for making us your first listen. We are free and available anywhere you get your pods, and that includes YouTube. Make sure you're still supporting Doug Branson's Substack, everyhornetsboxscore.com. Also Yahoo Sports Daily, hosted by Jason Fitz and Caroline Fenton. And I'm Walker Mail. Listen to me, WFNZ, every weekday from 12 to 3 p.m. Sports Radio 92.7 FM. Make sure you join us for the next episode. I think we might be releasing one later on today on February 25th, where we're going to focus on Con Knipple. Doug wanted to talk about Con. I'm with him on that. I want to get to more of the Rookie of the Year stuff. And I want to focus on LaMelo. There's something interesting he's doing that has been a pretty dramatic improvement on his end. And I don't know if we're giving it enough love. And if he fixes one mistake that he has in his game right now, I just don't know how you stop him if you even get average in this one area. So I wanted to dissect that in the next episode. Stay tuned here on Locked On Hornets.